Good late Monday evening, everyone. This is Jacob Mountain, live in the Southern Michigan Weather Center with live severe weather coverage as we have several active severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings in effect for parts of southwest lower Michigan. We're going to look here at live Doppler radar, and let's start with the tornado warning, which is in effect mainly for northwest Indiana, but does include southwest portions of Berrien County, including areas around Free Oaks. We're zooming a little closer here. New Buffalo, Free Oaks, and Gaulion. I apologize if I mispronounced that. But if you are in the warning area, you need to take your tornado precautions immediately. This is the main line of storms coming in from the Chicago area, which has had a history of producing several spin-up tornadoes, in addition to damaging significant straight-line winds. So take this very, very seriously and take immediate tornado precautions. We're going to go ahead and put a storm track. I'm just going to pull up how fast this is going. This tornado warning is in effect until midnight. It is moving east at around 60 miles per hour. So, let me get the storm track tool route, and then the strongest portion of this line. And I think it's at about 60 miles per hour. Yep, 60. So, this will take you into Michigan City, Indiana at 11:30. LaPorte at 11:39. Plymouth, Indiana at 11:55. South Bend, Indiana at 12:03. Niles, Michigan at 12:04. Which, Niles, you are not in the tornado warning just yet, although you are in a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag at the moment, but just monitor this line as it continues to move into the area. And then also monitor, zoom in a little closer, if you're in Cassopolis at 12:17, Edwardsburg at 12:14, and just continue to monitor downstream of this line. We also have several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, which are including, let's see here. This is for Berrien and Cass County. That is in effect until 11:45. This has a tornado possible tag in addition to a considerable damage threat tag for the potential for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So if you are in the severe thunderstorm warning area, which Benton Harbor, you have very heavy rain, gusty winds right now. Look at velocity real quick. Gusty winds. You have a very heavy rainfall and gusty winds in Berrien Springs. Delaugiac, you have that, which I apologize if I mispronounced that too, but that is coming your way within the next few minutes. Cassopolis, you have very gusty winds and heavy rainfall coming in shortly as well. And the max hail size is below penny size, and it looks like we just had a new severe thunderstorm warning come down the wire for portions of Kalamazoo County, which portions of Van Buren, Kalamazoo, and St. Joseph and Branch counties are also under severe thunderstorm warnings. These are for the potential for 60 mile per hour wind gusts primarily, although Van Buren and Kalamazoo counties also have tornado possible tags. Excuse me. So if you are in any of these warning areas, definitely just take it smart. Seek shelter, preferably lowest floor away from windows. And if you are especially in the tornado warning areas, do take your tornado shelter precautions, which basement if you got one, perfect. If not, lowest floor, interior room, small as possible. Well, not small as possible, enough for keep you in there, but interior room, lowest floor, away from windows. That keep as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and just be safe. you're in any of these warnings, really, because these are very active storms tonight. Alright, give me just a second here. I'm just going to check something from our wire. Not seeing anything emergent right now. Just new severe thunderstorm warning for Kalamazoo. Tornado possible. Just a second here. Alright. And the other problem with these storms is not only the severe weather with gusty winds and possible spin-up tornadoes, very heavy rainfall rates. As you can see, a flash flood warning has been issued for parts of Berrien County, including areas around Benton Harbor. And that is in effect, I believe, until 2 a.m. I will verify that in just a second. And, okay, that flash flood warning, yes, is in effect until 2 a.m. And let me go pull the details on that flash flood warning. This is for Doppler radar automated rain gauges indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain. Very heavy rainfall is occurring with additional heavy rainfall ahead. Between 1.5 2.5 inches of rain have fallen. The rainfall rates is 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. And that is in, well, not hour actually. This is within 30 minutes. That much rainfall in 30 minutes would certainly cause some flooding problems. On top of the saturated ground we already have across much of southern lower Michigan, from previous storm systems. Not only the other night, but when Beryl passed through the area. So, not going to take a whole lot of rain in a short period of time to cause some flooding problems. So, just something to be aware of in addition to the severe weather threat. Let's cycle back through the warnings. Starting with our tornado warning, which is for southwestern portions of Berrien County and several counties down in northern Indiana. Let's take a look at our velocity, and unfortunately, the line as strong as it is somewhat struggling to de-alias properly, but we'll zoom in here. There it goes. We do see a potential circulation, which I will highlight here momentarily. Potential circulation south of Michigan City. Let's see if I can loop that. It is heading to east-northeast, something like that. So that will ultimately take it towards the New Buffalo area and other parts of southwest Berrien County. So this is why we need you in your tornado shelters. If you're in southwest Berrien County, this tornado warning is in effect until midnight. Sorry, excuse me. Clear that out. Okay. And there are several other possible circulations with this line across northern Indiana. These storms have had a history of producing spin-up tornadoes in the Chicago area and across northern Illinois, eastern Iowa. So this is a long-lasting line of storms, which will continue on. So take a look at pay attention for any other areas of potential rotation. Nothing extremely obvious. Maybe something. Nothing too obvious. Maybe near west of Decatur. Nothing that immediately screams tornado to me, but. And let's check the Sturgis storm. Not really seeing much rotation there either. So let's just take a quick wide view and put on the loop. So this convection, hold the telestration back out, pause that. These storms over here actually initialized ahead of our main line, which is over here, which this main line is capable, has actually had a history of producing spin-up tornadoes and significant damaging straight line winds. And as that will continue to push east, let me clear the drawings out again and hit finish on that. If we take one more look at the general route, it is becoming apparent that the primary severe weather threat for this evening, as of right now, looks to generally be staying south, near and south, of the Interstate 94 corridor. So for those of you up in Grand Rapids, St. John's, Flint, Mount Pleasant, I'm not really expecting too many severe weather issues tonight. You'll see some rainfall, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but not really anticipating much severe weather. If you are in areas like Lansing, we will have to watch the northern edge of this line, as it's possible it might try to shift close up there, but current thinking is I still think the worst will stay south of you. And that also applies to areas along the 96 corridor. And the other thing is, we are expecting some weakening of this activity with eastward extent over the next several hours. With that said, while the tornado threat and stuff like that may begin to decrease, it won't be completely zero, and we still face the potential for not only damaging wind gusts, but the potential heavy rainfall resulting in flash flooding, as you can already see with the flash flood warning for the Benton Harbor area. So let's do another cycle. I'm going to do another look for potential rotation signatures. Put on storm relative. And still looking mainly near the Michigan City area. Nothing's obviously screaming tornado to me, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything down. We are a bit far from the radar site, so that will hinder hunting these circulations down a little bit. And it looks like a new tornado warning has been issued. This is for the South Bend, Indiana area, but it does include portions of southeast Berrien County. And, oops, wrong warning text. There we go. Tornado warning for southwestern Cass and southeastern Berrien counties in southwest Michigan. So this means Niles. This means if you're in the south, especially south side of Niles, but Niles in general, just play it safe. Take your tornado precautions. Buchanan, tornado precautions. Edwardsburg, tornado precautions now. And this tornado warning is in effect until 12:30 a.m. on what will be Tuesday morning, very early Tuesday morning. And let's see. So again, if you're in an active tornado warning, tornado precautions now, whether that be your interior room, lowest floor away from windows, keep several walls between you and the outside as possible. If you got a basement or storm shelter, that's the best place to go. No mobile homes, no vehicles. If you are in a mobile home, here's what I need you to do ahead of these storms. Especially in the tornado warning areas. If you have a neighbor with a sturdy structure, go there. If not, maybe the nearest gas station, convenience store, or any store that might still be open this late. They will let you in. Or a fast food restaurant or something, they will let you in. Seek shelter there. We want you in a sturdy building. Again, no mobile homes, no vehicles. If you got a bike helmet or a football helmet or anything like that for you and your children, put those on. I know it might look silly, but that'll certainly help protect you from any flying debris that may take place. And and then we also still have several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. So definitely a very active evening across the southern lower Michigan region, especially southwest lower, especially. So, alright. Give me just a second here. Just checking some sources here. Alright. Just go check social media feeds. Looking for any reports. Let's see. Not seeing anything obvious right now. Let me check another chat room. 1 mile east-northeast of Douglas in Allegan County. This is a Mesonet report of a 42 mile per hour wind gusts. This is the Mesonet station, MC 148 I 196, mile marker 38.1. So definitely nothing too severe up there, but still some gusty wind. Let's what do we got here? That's just a warning down in Indiana continuation. They're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Branch and St. Joseph. That is for 60 mile per hour wind gusts is the primary threat with that warning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flow on the lightning utility. And as you can see, lots of lightning with these storms. And this is in part due to very high instability over this part of the region. So if anything, these storms will be very, very loud and very, very bright. But they are also severe. So continue to take these warnings seriously. Let's take a look now for any potential tornadic circulations. Nothing extremely obvious. Other than that, down towards Michigan City. Loop that. It looks like it may stay south of the state line, but if you are in our communities under the tornado warning near the state line, do not take any chances. Continue to be in shelter. And an interesting feature on our velocity imagery. This is an outflow boundary that you're seeing here. And what that is the cool air out ahead, cool air from a thunderstorm that is rushing out ahead. Now the good news is if that can get far enough ahead of these storms, that will help slowly begin a weakening process. Some good news. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Berrien and Cass counties. That one is being allowed to expire. So this will come off the screen here at 11:45 as the storm has weakened below severe limits and no longer poses an immediate threat to life or property. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds and heavy rain are still possible with these storms. Tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. for southwestern Michigan. And then remember, a tornado warning still remains in effect for southern Berrien and southern Cass, and that is, well, it says 11 p.m. Central, so that'd be midnight. That would be a midnight local. That is for come on, let me try and get the right text here. Come on, it's not wanting to do it. Let me zoom in, see if I can get the warning text to come up. So this warning here, where this line is right now, that is in effect until midnight. And then the additional tornado warning for southeast Berrien and southern Cass County, that is in effect until 12:30. Check our feed again. correction. We got a new flood advisory in effect for Kalamazoo County, which is not surprising with the very heavy rainfall rates. Which, let me see if I can actually pull that up here. It will take just a minute to load in. Oh yeah, very, very heavy rainfall rates with some of these storms. I'm going to try to probe some of this. 5 inch an hour rainfall rates near Paw Paw. Near Free Rivers, 4.1 inches. West of Decatur, 4.4 inches. Now that is what these storms are capable of in 1 hour. Good news is these the loop is not playing. Okay, let's go back to radar. Some good news is while these storms are on the move, it could still very well drop some of that within an hour. Maybe not necessarily 5 inches, but maybe like 2, maybe 3 inches in 1 hour. That, with the already saturated ground, that's still going to result in flooding issues. So, on top of the severe weather threat, be aware from flooding. Do not attempt to drive through any flooded roadways. And be prepared if you're in a flood-prone area. Do prepare to find higher ground quickly if need be. I know with it being severe thunderstorms, that can be a bit tough, but just keep that in mind. Northern Indiana. Just another correction. Now, with this main line of storms, not only is it capable of tornadic activity on a brief spin-up basis, but they're also producing widespread damaging straight-line winds. Which, while current indications are the worst of it I am somewhat interested in that. North of Michigan City, that is a few thousand feet up. So, like 60, 66, 63. That is a few thousand feet up over the lake. That may not necessarily be reaching the surface, but that hasn't been too hard, especially back off to the west. So, for those who reach the surface, so just something to keep in mind. And the Northern Indiana tornado warning. So, yeah, definitely a very active evening across, especially southwest lower Michigan. And let's do a quick. Let me load up another product here. Doing this on the fly. Take a big picture look across lower Michigan, and as you can see, there's a very strong line of severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and straight line winds. And you have additional severe thunderstorms around the I-94 corridor, around Kalamazoo, down to around Sturgis and Coldwater. Those are primarily capable of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But our main show with the tornadic brief spin-up tornado activity and damaging straight-line winds is down near the state line. Let's go back to our high-resolution radar. Now, some good news is there may be a slow weakening trend with this line. That does not discount the threat any. It's still there. But hopefully we can start turning down the threat with eastward extent over the next several hours. Okay, so let's do some local interrogation. Let me check out. I'm going to switch to another radar real quick. We are on the Northern Indiana radar site down in North Webster. We're going to switch to the radar at the Grand Rapids Gerald R. Ford International Airport in Grand Rapids. See what's that showing for rotation down in Kalamazoo County, because there's still a tornado possible tag. And nothing extremely obvious. Look at the wind shear rate. Definitely some wind shear there, but gate to gate shear. Nothing terribly obvious right now, which is good. So probably just some gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and lots of lightning. As this continues to move east, we'll be monitoring that closely. We're going to switch back to the other radar site to take a look at this, the northern Indiana site. Take a look at this storm near Sturgis, Bronson, Colon, and that is heading towards Union City and Coldwater. Take a look. Nothing extremely obvious in the tornadic department, but definitely some gusty winds still quite possible with that. Up to 60 miles per hour, in addition to the very heavy rainfall. And lightnings, take a look at that near Cassopolis, Vandalia. Nothing quite obvious there. We are watching that near Marcellus, heading towards Vicksburg and southern Schoolcraft, Vicksburg in southern Kalamazoo County. Nothing screaming obvious tornado to me, but maybe a little bit of rotation in there that we'll have to watch. Or maybe a brief spin up. But otherwise, our main brief spin up and damaging wind threat will be across far southern Berrien and Cass counties, especially in the northern Indiana. So continuing to watch some very active storms across southwest lower Michigan. And these storms have had quite the history of wind damage. You see all these icons here showing high wind and wind damage back in Illinois. So these storms have had quite the history, and they're still capable of that with eastward extent. So see if there's anything new on the tornado warnings. Nothing at the moment. Check some other feeds. Alright. Nothing obvious. Check some feeds real quick. Nothing yet, which is good news, but that doesn't mean these storms aren't doing anything. We have just not seen any reports yet. Now, just take a look at another radar feed real quick. Nothing yet. Let's see, I got a 46 mile per hour gust. Let's see if I can get it to load in here. Gusts. See if we can get it to load on the system here. We got a 46 mile per hour gust there at Sturgis associated with these storms, which is not severe, but still quite gusty. Otherwise, nothing. There's a 40, but that's in northern Indiana. Nothing too terrible at the moment, which is good news, but that does not mean there isn't severe winds. It just has not been recorded by our ground stations. Alright, so we're going to do a quick reset, do a regional look, and as you can see, we got strong to severe thunderstorms continuing in southwest lower, with some tornado warnings down near the state line. If you are in any of those tornado warnings near the state line, which we'll zoom in and continue to read out some communities: New Buffalo, Niles, Edwardsburg, Buchanan, Galion, Free Oaks. If you're in any of those areas down near the state line in the red, outlined in red here, take your tornado precautions now. That means either basement, storm shelter if you got one, perfect. If not, small interior room, lowest floor, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. No mobile homes, no vehicles. And we also got several severe thunderstorm warnings for continuing for portions of Van Buren, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, and Branch counties for the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And a couple of these warnings, mainly the Kalamazoo County one, also carries a tornado possible tag. Zooming back out, if you are north of the I-94 corridor, there's really not anything extreme going on right now, just some rainfall, maybe a little bit of gusty wind, and you may still hear some rumbles of thunder, but it is looking like, as of right now, the majority of the severe weather will stay south of the Interstate 94 corridor, which is not good news for us, for our friends along south of the I-94 corridor, but for those of us north of that, we may very well escape the very worst of the severe weather tonight. Let's go back to our high resolution radar. Start with the tornado warnings, which east at 62. Let me do a quick loop so I can get a good handle on it for a potential storm track. Take a look at velocity. Nothing. Well, let's check that out near Branch County. Maybe a little bit of rotation there. Double check that. Perhaps a little bit of rotation southwest of Bronson. Nothing to where I think there's immediate tornado threat. Let me just check another mode for potential tornadic debris. Nothing. Just some broad rotation. Nothing that screams tornado to me, but something to watch. And let's check out Kalamazoo. Nothing extremely obvious. Maybe just some gusty wind. And alright, let's go ahead and do our storm track now for the strongest part of this line. That is moving, if we do that, we'll go 60 miles per hour. That is going to take it into, a lot of these are Indiana locations, but Niles, 1205, Sturgis at 1243. A lot of these are Indiana locations, but yeah, so Niles 1205, Sturgis 1243, assuming these storms continue to hold together. And it looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning has came down the wire, and this is for Cass and St. Joseph counties in southwest Michigan until 1245. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Um, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Maybe some small hail, but that's not a huge threat. So mainly the gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Take a look at velocity. Yep, definitely some stronger wind possibly there. Let's probe some of that. That is 52. We've got a 49. Let's see, 51. So definitely potential for 50 to 60 mile per hour winds down at the surface with these storms. So seek shelter, interior room, away from windows if you are in the warning area, which does include areas like Marcellus, Free Rivers, Constantin, which I apologize if I've mispronounced that, Mendon, Vandalia, which you're seeing very heavy rain, gusty winds right now. Let's see, tornado warning. Tornado warnings continue. I will say, if you are in the western tornado warning for southwest Berrien County, you're still seeing heavy rain, still might be seeing gusty winds, but the tornadic threat, I believe, has passed, and they have just expired that tornado warning, actually. So, southwest Berrien County, you are all clear from the tornado warning. You can come out of your storm shelters if you're in southwest Berrien County. Excuse me just for a second. Just checking a couple feeds here. Nothing yet. Just a second. Okay. Here's what we're working with. Just nothing. Just northern Indiana. Okay, let's see. A flood warning has been issued. So there was previously a flood advisory that was in effect for Van Buren County. That has been upgraded to a flood warning. A flood warning. Not a flash flood warning, but just a regular old flood warning. That is in effect until 6 a.m. 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And this is for potential flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying flood-prone locations. Low water crossings are inundated with water may not be passable. And so just one of the many other things to keep in mind is our flooding potential of these storms. So seeing some questions on social media on whether Detroit will get hit. We are hopeful that we do continue to see a weakening trend with eastward extent. You might still see some gusty winds in the Detroit area, but I would also tend to think the main concern would probably be more towards heavy rainfall that far east, which our main concern for the heaviest rain definitely appears to be, along and south of the I-94 corridor. So, Detroit Metro, stay on guard, but for maybe some gusty winds, but otherwise I would lean towards more a heavy rainfall threat that far out. We still continue with the tornado warning for southeastern Berrien, southern Cass. Let's take a look at velocity. I will say nothing extremely obvious if you are in southeastern Berrien and southern Cass County, but still respect the polygon. Take your tornado precautions. You never know when one could spin up. Definitely thinking the bigger threat, at least from tornadic activity with this main line, is staying south in northern Indiana, which is good news. Taking a look near Coldwater. Do I have to keep an eye on that? That could very well be some rotation. Been watching that for a bit. Still near Bronson. Heading towards Coldwater. If you're in Coldwater, in Quincy, just a heads up. Watching a little bit of rotation. Nothing that screams immediate tornado to me, but just something to watch. If you are in Van Buren County, the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. Van Buren County, severe thunderstorm warning has expired. You're still seeing possibly some heavy rain. You still might be hearing some thunder, but the severe threat has ended for your area. If you're in southern Van Buren County. What do we got? Northern Indiana. As a southern cancellation. As a northern Indiana cancellation. Okay. So, it looks like a potential hook echo down there near Bronson. Let's Yeah, definitely some rotation there. Let me double check. No obvious tornado debris yet, which is good. We don't want to see that, but definitely starting to watch there in Berrien County. Which we still stand the threat, especially in Southwest Lower where the tornado watch is. Still stand the threat for potential tornado activity. So just keep that. Oops, wrong thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, so take a look at velocity. Not only do we see the potential tornadic activity, which there's a couple areas more potential rotation along this section of the line in Kalamazoo and Portage counties. Nothing that screams immediate tornadic activity to me, but definitely some gusty wind potential. Just keep in mind. Okay. So, still keeping an eye on our tornado warning, although, as previously mentioned, it's looking like the best tornado threat right now is staying northern. Indiana, what do we got? That's northern Indiana, continuation of severe thunderstorm warning. What do we got? Okay. Velocities again, nothing. Maybe a little bit of rotation just south of the state line near Roseland, but it almost looks like more noisy to me, but still something to watch. Let's see. We got still keeping an eye on this cell southwest of Coldwater near the Bronson area. That is still showing signs of rotation. Nothing extremely tight, nothing obviously screaming tornado to me, but it's something we have to watch. And let's do another general loop of everything here as it continues to move off to the east, near and south of the I-94 corridor. Let's see. Okay. Throw the lightning back on, and there continues to be a lot of lightning with this activity, so definitely some loud storms though, which may wake you up quite rudely out of your sleep if you're asleep. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see, let me check our chat. YouTube chat, nothing. Check our notifications, nothing. Continue to check our feed. Our feeds. Not seeing much of anything. Not seeing many reports across our area, which is good news, but that doesn't mean the severe weather isn't there. It just means that we haven't got any reports yet, which we hope that stays that way. That's what we want. But still continue to take these warnings seriously. Let's see, take a look at velocity. Unfortunately, our DLES things. There we go. South Bend, some rotation. A couple areas of rotation in Cass and St. Joseph we're keeping an eye on. Nothing screams tornado to me, so cancellation of sweet weather watch. That's out west. Okay. Hold on. Okay, there we go. And we are keeping an eye on this cell in Branch County, which also is still exhibiting some signs of rotation. Nothing extremely obvious, tornadic, but So still keeping an eye on. Okay. Let's see here. General loop, and oops, there we go. Strong to severe thunderstorms continuing to move to the east across southwest lower Michigan. We'll be tracking towards south central and eventually southeast Michigan, mainly along and south of the I-94 corridor. Although we are still anticipating some weakening with eastward extent. So hopefully that is the case. Alright. So, nothing from our tornado warning yet, which is good news. Very good news. And honestly, while I still think the tornado threat is from the main line is still saying northern Indiana, from what I'm seeing, still remain in shelter. I will say you might be seeing some gusty winds and very heavy rain, frequent lightning. If you can give me 5 minutes in southeast Berrien County, I can offer you an all clear from the tornado threat. So just give me 5 more minutes in Berrien County. Stream Southern Cass, Edwardsburg points south. US 12 and points south. Just remain in your shelter for a few more minutes. That is a continuation of the severe thunderstorm warning for Kalamazoo County. It's wrong tool. There we go. And that still continues with our 60-mile-per-hour wind gust threat, along with the small possibility, not imminent, but possible spin-up tornado threat. So just keep that in mind. Kalamazoo, you're seeing very heavy rain right now. Lots of lightning. Gusty winds, but turn that off. Okay. But nothing immediately screaming tornadic activity to me, which we hope that stays the case. We don't want tornadic activity here in southern lower Michigan. But all right, I'm gonna take a look at another radar site for that Kalamazoo storm. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Our DLE is not doing well there. It looks more like gusty wind right now. Maybe a little bit of rotation down near Schoolcraft. Nothing that is imminent tornadic to me, but mainly gusty wind there in Kalamazoo County right now. Northern Indiana. Severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. Let's do another loop. As you can see, this activity continues to move off to the east. And, yeah. Very strong storms across southwest lower Michigan tonight. And, let's see. Okay. Going back to our tornado warning, which, alright. Still nothing too obvious in our tornado warning. Mainly just gusty wind from what I've seen. New mesoscale discussion coming down the wire. That is probably for, yep, that is ahead of this line. So that would include portions of southeast lower. It's probably a thunderstorms developing ahead of an MCV. Severe hail wind threat. Trends being monitored for watch issuance. So potential severe thunderstorm watch ahead of this tornado watch that may be coming down the line, which would include portions of southeast lower. So just a heads up for our southeastern lower communities. A severe thunderstorm watch may be coming your way. Not certain, but potential's there. So let's continue watching our severe thunderstorms ongoing. and southwest lower. Okay. Look at a rotation in Branch County. Still nothing too obvious yet, which is good. Want it to stay that way. But definitely some gusty winds still possible with that storm, in addition to the very heavy rainfall. So, if you're in Coldwater, you're seeing very gusty winds, heavy rainfall. Quincy, heavy rainfall, probably some gusty winds. Bronson, that cell's moving away from you, but you still got the main line off to your west to watch. What do we got? Okay, that's a Northern Indiana tornado warning continuation. So, a new severe thunderstorm warning coming down. This will be for southern portions of Branch and southeastern portions of St. Joseph County. Southern portions of St. Joseph, in southwest Branch County. And this has a considerable damage threat tag for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, considerable damage threat for southern portions of St. Joseph, including areas like Sturgis, White Pigeon, Burr Oak, and then southwest Branch County, southwest of Bronson, for potential 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, if you're in that area, seek shelter, interior room, away from windows. Lowest floor if you can get there. And so we're still keeping an eye on other severe thunderstorm warnings across the area toward the north. Turn that off. Mainly still gusty wind signatures in Kalamazoo and St. Joseph counties now. If you are in the tornado warning area, if you are in Berrien County, you're still under the warning officially, but I can probably offer you the all clear from the tornado warning. If you are in southern Cass County, nothing obvious on velocity to indicate a tornado threat, but still, play it safe, respect the polygon, take your tornado precautions in far southern Cass County, including Edwardsburg. And although realistically, I think the spin-up tornado threat is continuing to stay in northern Indiana, so hopefully we can all clear you from that soon. Otherwise, I do think this is eventually going to transition to more of a damaging wind threat. Not completely discounting the tornado threat, but might be beginning to transition more into a damaging wind threat, which still cause damage, but keep that in mind. That still can cause some damage. So, severe threat is far from over tonight. Or now early Tuesday morning. Alright, let me sort this out. 1 second. Bear with me here. Okay. Bear with me here. Okay. Let's see what they said. Anything about the tornado warning? Still nothing. So, just continuation of severe thunderstorm warning for Branch County. We're gonna check that out there near Three Rivers. Okay, maybe a little bit of rotation there near Free Rivers. Heading towards Centerville. Perhaps some rotation. You have to keep an eye on these lines of storms. You have to keep an eye on these little notch-like signatures. Sometimes you can get brief spin-ups near those. So Free Rivers, Centerville. Not necessarily certain on tornadic activity right now, but just something to keep an eye on. No tornado debris being detected, but perhaps a little bit of rotation. So there's something to watch if you're in Free Rivers, Centerville, excuse me. Eventually the Colon area, Mendon. I apologize, I mispronounced any of your names. Let's see. Take a look up in Kalamazoo. Nothing obvious up there. Mainly gusty wind, which is what we want to continue to see. Well, not. You don't want gusty wind either. That can still cause damage. But tornadic threat, we're not really seeing up there right now. Continuing to look at our tornado warning. Alright. The Kalamazoo Battle Creek International Airport at 12:15, a wind gust of 40 miles per hour. So luckily most of the wind gust reports we are getting, at least from the Weather Service, continue to be below severe limits, which is what we want to see. Northern Indiana, severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. So continuing to watch strong to severe thunderstorms across parts of southern lower Michigan this evening, mainly near and south of I-94 right now. So continue to remain weather aware tonight, especially south of I-94. Although with eastward extent, latest MCD, we may need to expand that area to watch up to the I-69 corridor. So areas like Howell, Ann Arbor, Adrian, Detroit, Fenton, Richmond. Your primary threat would be hail and wind, less of a tornadic threat. In addition to the heavy rainfall concerns. Some good news, if you are in a southeastern Berrien County, you have officially been dropped from the tornado warning. I know we offered you the all clear already a few minutes ago, but it's officially been dropped. It does continue for far southern Cass County until 12:30. So that's 10 more minutes. Severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage located along a line extending from near Cassopolis to near Dunlap, near Goshen and near Warsaw, moving east at 60 miles per hour. So we're going to take another look at the velocities. Continue to be nothing obvious in southern Cass County, mainly gusty wind. So definitely some spin-up signatures perhaps down by the radar site there in North Webster. Something to look at real quick. Let me go back up. Look at our other storms for anything obvious. I'm not seeing anything too obvious right now, which is good. Definitely quite noisy, so definitely hard to pick out a specific rotation. But just be aware, gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour or 70 miles per hour in southern Cass. In southern St. Joseph, excuse me, not Cass, St. Joseph in southwest Branch County. So, yeah. Put on the lightning again. So you can see still quite a lot of lightning. So, definitely very loud storms. And one thing we're going to take a look at real quick is I'm going to put up the 3-hour rainfall totals. Let me turn the timestamp off. I know that's looking a little weird. There it goes. Yeah, very heavy rain across parts of southwest lower. Let me probe a little bit. Near Decatur, you have about 2 inches of rain. This is MERM's estimated, so it may not be exact, but close estimate. Benton Harbor over 2 inches between, and then southeast of Free Rivers, you got 2 inches as well. So this is in 3 hours. That's quite a bit of rain for 3 hours. So this is on top of an already saturated ground. So definitely can see the flooding concerns out there. Clear that. Okay. 40 gust. Let's see. Take one more look for any tornadic activity. I'll be honest with you. I know southern Cass County is still under the tornado warning, but at this point, we're probably going to offer you an all clear from the tornadic activity in southern Cass County. And a flood. So if you're in Edwardsburg, if you're near Edwardsburg, if you're on the Michigan side of the Granger community, we can in Granger, Indiana community, Michigan side, we're going to go ahead and offer you an all clear from the tornado potential. Still some gusty winds, still some heavy rain, but just don't think we're going to see much in the way of tornadic activity up there. So the tornado warning's still up there, but yeah. Which if you still feel more comfortable staying in your tornado shelter area, do that. And really you should with the gusty winds, but just don't think we'll be seeing much in the way of tornadic activity out there. Alright, speaking of tornadic activity, still not seeing anything obvious with our other storms, which is what we want to see. Alright, just checking feeds real quick. A flood warning in effect for Kalamazoo County. Not very surprising with these very heavy storms. Bear with me here. Alright, so pending no new tornado warnings, assuming we don't get anything new on the tornado warning front, we may be hopping off the live stream here soon. We will still have social media posts, but I'm just gonna go look over some things and get a little breather, assuming we have no new tornado warnings. So hopefully we get nothing new on that front here shortly. It'll be expiring. The tornado warning will be expiring in 4 minutes. Hopefully it stays that way. Alright. Okay, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Berry County, Berry County, eastern Kalamazoo and western Calhoun counties. And that is for potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which alright. Okay. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the main threat with that, so let's zoom in and take a look at some of the communities in there. Battle Creek, Climax, Richland, Galesburg, the Nashville community. So if you're in any of those areas, seek shelter, sturdy building, away from windows as those storms approach your area. Just 1 second. Okay, what do we got from the Weather Service? Decatur, broadcast media is reporting flooding. 1 mile west-southwest of Decatur, street flooding on M51 entering the Decatur area. Roads possible, but water covered. So while the roads are still possible, I wouldn't necessarily chance it, as it won't take much more for that to change. New severe thunderstorm warning for Cass and St. Joseph for 60-mile-per-hour winds. New severe thunderstorm warning until 1 a.m. Till 1 a.m. for eastern Cass and St. Joseph counties, mainly for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which I agree with that assessment. This is from the Grand Rapids radar. Let me switch over to our other radar, Northern Indiana. Yep, I agree with that assessment. Very noisy, so can't really pick out any area of rotation in particular. So that continues to be good news, at least on the tornadic front. This tornado warning, which, wow, it's still in effect for like 1 more minute in Cass County. I can pretty much offer you the all clear, at least from that. Although, as you can see here, I'm just going to take a peek at that. Several rotational signatures, including one just north of the radar there in North Webster. So this line's still capable of producing them. We're just lucky we haven't really seen that, at least in southwest Michigan so far. Still can be the case, but hopefully it stays down to our south. Although I know our friends down south don't need that either. But alright. Yep. Okay. So our tornado warning, if you're in southern Cass County, your tornado warning has officially been dropped. So no more active tornado warnings for the moment across any of the southern lower Michigan region. Several severe thunderstorm warnings do continue across the area, mainly for the potential of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, in addition to the very heavy rainfall threat, resulting in several flood warnings across the area. So at this time, I'm probably gonna let you go while I go catch up on some things. Actually, one more severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun and Jackson counties for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That is until 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock this morning. So several severe thunderstorm warnings, but nothing immediately tornadic. Hopefully stays that way. So, alright. Gonna let you go for now. We'll be back if anything urgent comes up. In the meantime, thank you for tuning into this Summer Michigan Weather live stream. This is Jacob Melton signing off.